The video opens with a cold shock that immediately locks the viewer's attention, presenting a startling contrast. At the exact moment Julius Mkhwanazi rises as the new ANC chair in Johannesburg, with a leadership style many insiders describe as anything but a facilitator, the nation is jolted again, as Thabo Bester demands access to Justice Minister Ronald Lamola's confidential records. Two pressure points, one political and one legal, collide in the same breath, hinting at a deeper tension shaping the country's direction. The tease that follows makes it clear what the viewer is about to journey through. A layered dive into how Mkhwanazi's leadership could reshape Joburg's political architecture, and why Bester's sudden interest in Lamola's records carries implications that stretch far beyond a single prison escape narrative. The viewer is promised revelations that tie ambition, secrecy, and power into one charged storyline. Before the video reaches the 40-second mark, a spark is lit to pull the audience into active participation. They are asked a provocative question. If they had to choose between political power and legal truth, which one reshapes a city's future more dramatically? A playful challenge, then, invites them to predict which storyline will deliver the biggest revelation by the end of the video, setting the emotional rhythm for what follows. The narrative then moves into its first major phase, exploring how Joburg's future might look under Julius Mkhwanazi's assertive, non-facilitator leadership style. This leads naturally into an examination of how internal ANC reshuffles in Gauteng often generate ripple effects that extend far beyond the province. Viewers are then led into a vivid scenario, an imagined day inside Joburg's political structures immediately after Mkhwanazi's election, before being taken into a reflective comparison with previous ANC chairs, leaders who operated through consensus rather than confrontation. The script then considers the double-edged nature of decisive leadership and whether it calms or destabilizes a city overnight. This evolves into a direct question. Is Mkhwanazi's assertiveness a sign of strong leadership or the beginning of a political storm? The narrative continues by unpacking the tension that arises when a political chair is openly described as a non-facilitator, followed by a dynamic depiction of how Joburg's bureaucratic machinery changes when a leader rejects half measures, and finally an anecdote from political veterans recalling the high stakes of choosing direction over dialogue. At the midpoint, exactly after the 9th block, the video shifts into its mid-video call to action. The viewer is reminded, in an engaging and conversational way, that their comments and reactions help fuel political analysis of this depth and allow the channel to continue unpacking topics that are often hidden behind closed doors. This moment invites participation without disrupting narrative pacing. The second wind of the video begins immediately afterward, broadening the investigation. It reflects on how leaders everywhere walk the tightrope between maintaining authority and avoiding the alienation of key allies. This seamlessly transitions into the central legal question. Why is Thabo Bester demanding access to Lamola's records now? And what exactly is he hoping to reveal or disrupt? The script then opens up the legal landscape, describing the serious implications that come with trying to access ministerial documents during an active or sensitive investigation. A vivid courtroom scenario paints the picture of what could happen if those records were ever released publicly, followed by a story shared by a legal expert about how withheld documents in a different case once flipped the entire outcome. The narrative then guides viewers into a reflection about transparency and national security, setting the stage for a broader question. Could Bester's request influence political tensions already simmering across the country? This leads into a surprising exploration of how the two seemingly separate stories, Joburg politics and Bester's legal maneuvers, actually intersect. The second wind closes with a forward-looking projection of Gauteng's political battlefield and how dramatically it could shift if both storylines escalate simultaneously. The wrap pulls all threads together, showing how Mkhwanazi's rise and Bestir's legal pressure are part of the same larger narrative about shifting power, accountability, and political momentum in South Africa. It ends with a compelling lead-in to the next major investigation, encouraging the viewer to stay tuned for deeper revelations about emerging centers of influence. The entire outline closes with the final disclaimer that the content does not constitute professional advice, and that viewers should consult qualified experts where necessary.